you know what that was? Cinema. Loosely speaking, that was cinema. It's cinema. Speaking of cinema, and tomorrow I'm going to go see Sonic Movie 2 with my best friend Jordan.
Okay, hello. It is currently 12 o'clock, which means, well, the Sonic movie is already out in my country, but today is a little more significant day for me personally, because today is the day I go watch the Sonic movie myself. It's so dramatic for no reason. Like, me and my client agreed to do this for some reason. It's kind of stupid. Makes it seem like a documentary or whatever. But, I'm currently playing Sonic Adventure 2, trying to find this last shard in Mirrored. And I'm super tired, but this is my, now I have to complete the game. This is my second run of the game. And I'm sort of excited to finally finish it. Even though I have before, but I had to use a lot of assistance because I didn't really understand it. But this is just me looking at the game from my own lens. I was sort of sidetracked, but Sonic Movie 2, yeah, it's kind of stupid. Yeah, just want to say before I go to sleep, I hate this game a lot. I hate this game so much, dude. I decided to give up. It is now the morning of the movie, and I forgot to record. Yeah, but, fell asleep around 12. Couldn't get the emerald shard yet, but maybe eventually. I've done it before. I can do it again. So yeah, as far as the predictions, I think Chaos might show up. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna just pace around the kitchen, waiting for the time to arrive.
The plan is simple. I wake up at roughly 8 in the morning. I go to soccer, and I'm there until roughly 11, from which I go to Jordan's house, pick up Jordan, and then from Jordan's house, we go back to my house, spend some time there, and then we go to the movies. And the reason as to why I'm doing this planning explanation bit is because neither of us recorded any footage of us actually meeting up, so that's cool. This is so awkward.
Yeah, this is awkward. You didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened the night we were. So I guess now you come in frame, and then title card.
Okay, it's going. Ready? Every day while slaves were being slaughtered and carted away across the waves, he struggled and kept his guard up. Inside, he was longing for something to be a part of. The brother was ready to beg, steal, borrow, or barter. What's your name, man?
Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton. There's a million things I haven't done. Just you wait. Just you wait. His cousin's gonna commit suicide.
There would've been nothing left to do for some masters, so he would've been dead, destitute without a cent of restitution. Or you can be a new man.
You can, in New York, you can be a new man. New York.
Me, I died for him.
Me, I love him. Me, I love him. Alexander Hamilton.
We did it. We're going. We're going.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And I'm currently watching the behind the scenes.
This is crazy.
Mm.
We're in the car.
I probably heard of it. Sonic generation. Golly. No way. No way. No way. No way. Hold on. His shoes. Look at his shoes.
These readings are accurate. He's here. I found him. Just hope I'm not too late.
Hold on. Did they actually show us?
A secret research facility. It was a work site, sir.
His leg!
Very hard to keep this hidden.
His leg, look at him! His leg!
Project Shadow.
Oh! Look at that! Let me get a flicking on here. Wait, what did you think of the movie? And say something not like, oh, it was better than the first.
Well, I would say it was better than the first. Knuckles was definitely the best part in my opinion. I like that they leaned more into the Sonic aspect of it. This movie just felt Sonic-esque. That felt like an actual Sonic movie.
Sonic X, Sonic X.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
It was crazy.
yeah, I agree with you for the most part. But God, what? I really like what's it called? The humans in this thing too.
Man, you can make anything work as long as you're fast enough.
Is that the intro?
I mean, I guess, like, think about it. If you hit a ramp fast enough, you're gonna fly.
Well, that's our subject matter today. The Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. The Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. So I guess we can start off, talking about the characters. We can get to like our overall thoughts later, but let's just start off with the new characters actually. Okay, let's start off with Tails and Knuckles, and then we could get to like the human characters, not necessarily like the human characters that were like that weren't in the first movie, but at least the ones that like sort of the ones that got developed in this movie a little more, Well,
Yeah.
Of course that doesn't include Eggman. I mean, yeah, that doesn't include Eggman. But so would you like to start since this is your channel or whatever?
My god. Sure. Okay, I like that Tails wasn't overshadowed.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think Tails, as far as like, I thought you would be overshadowed, of course, by obviously Knuckles, but he held his own in the movie. I'm glad that he had his own dedicated scenes. Like, he was always with Sonic, unless my memory's a little messed up. Well, besides that part where he's talking to Tom and Maddie about like finding his way back home. like
The
the
name,
song, like the song from the movie.
like the song, yeah.
Yeah, but he's finding his way back finding his way to the Shining Master Emerald, of course. Um, a lot of people were saying that Tails wasn't developed enough in this movie because like a specific criticism I saw, like a very specific criticism that I saw, was that people thought that Tails is, like Sonic already called Tails his friend or whatever, so like the payoff wasn't as good, when Tails eventually mentioned like his grievances and all that stuff without finding a friend or whatever. I didn't really see that in the movie, but I just wanted to mention that because,
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to add to that. Yeah, I just agree.
Um, I guess we can move on to Knuckles. Knuckles.
Oh yeah, Knuckles.
You completely contradicted your point by saying, "Oh man, I'm glad that Tails wasn't overshadowed." But as soon as we got to Knuckles, you were like, Knuckles," instead of
Yeah.
like, Knuckles,
I'm a big Knuckles guy.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. So why is it so? Obviously, we can talk about the work of Idris Elba or whatever all day. But I guess we could start with the character itself outside of the voice.
Yeah, they made him a meathead.
Character. I
Wait,
mean,
your audio cut out. What did you say?
it fits his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of. Yeah, his main thing is being like, oh man, Knuckles is like, he's not like the, he got tricked by Eggman, which he did in this movie, and in the games, of course. And I sort of like that they're reusing that, adventure slash Sonic 3 storyline, because it's simple, and like, excuse me. I'm glad that they also had Knuckles sort of, I guess I don't want to say hold his own because obviously he was going to do that, but they made Knuckles sort of, at some point, he wasn't just like a side, to like Eggman. He wasn't like Eggman's big new machine or whatever. He actually had his own stuff or whatever, And also, we'll get to him later, never mind. But what did you think
What?
of Knuckles?
What about Knuckles?
What did you think of Knuckles?
Oh, I really like Knuckles.
Anyways, do you have nothing else to add?
I mean, I like the parallels between Knuckles and Sonic. What's it called? I like that the invaders in the scene where Sonic and Longclaw get split up. I like that those were echidnas even in the first movie, so that when it's like the whole like revealing the connection between Sonic and Knuckles, it doesn't feel like artificially retconned just to create a connection.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I understand. Wow. To me, it's sort of crazy. Like, that, to me, I didn't expect them in the first movie to have, like, the Echidna tribe in it. So, it's sort of, to me, like, I'm glad that actually had, like, it's that continuity, like, of course the movie has continuity or whatever. But, like, it's just, this the small details that people wouldn't catch at first if they're not, like, a Sonic diehard or whatever. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, you grow to appreciate it, as time goes on. It gets better with time,
Yes.
But, I'm glad they didn't elaborate on all that in the first movie. Because, because I'm glad, it gives, like, not only did the post-credit scene sort of give people a reason to watch the next movie, but like maybe some people were satisfied with like the payoff of like, oh man, this makes the sense. Long Claw, the people that attack Long Claw or whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I guess we can move on to like the non-Eggman human characters, I guess.
Suppose, yeah.
So I'm gonna let you start because I usually say like most of the stuff.
God.
Rolls eyes.
I mean, this is just like a personal me thing. It's not that I dislike the humans in this movie, but I feel like they don't add much. You know? Like, I don't feel like they're super important to the plot.
Let me think. I mean, besides Tom and Maddie, I guess I agree with that for a little bit.
Even then, I feel like all Tom really does is just, like, give Sonic a moral advice.
Which is integral to the, to like the plot in the movie, to what he said about said to Knuckles. I feel like that's, I don't think it should be brushed off as like a little, that's all he did, but he also, I feel like they took a side, what's the word? They took a seat back during this movie, like the human characters. But
Makes sense. What's it called? It aligns with the way this movie. This movie took a more Sonic focused approach compared to like Sonic in this world, like Earth City. It was more of a Sonic thing.
Yeah. With humans still, play a role in like the Sonic games and all that stuff. Yeah, but they're not like, the you know what I mean. So they have similar roles like the games and in the movies, and of course they're not like, these two things that I'm about to compare aren't like too similar, but you know how they have like the side plot in the movie or whatever.
Yes.
In Sonic Adventure, as like time goes on, once you like talk to the humans or whatever, like if you talk to the same human, like their story develops as your story continues. So to me, they sort of play a kind of similar role in some way. I guess a better comparison would probably be like, I don't know, sort of like Sonic Unleashed, where they have you doing side quests with the humans. But like, I feel like, in this movie, they sort of play, just a similar role. At least like people who aren't Tom and Maddie, at least. I actually feel like Tom and Maddie they actually aren't that, prevalent in this movie.
They really aren't.
Honestly, Maddie might be more prevalent than Tom.
Yeah, like she's the person who rescues. Well, I mean, technically Tom does rescue Sonic with the rings, but Maddie could have very easily done that as well.
Yeah, I feel like in the third, we'll get to the third movie later. What else is there to touch on? Oh, as far as like characters and all that stuff. I guess we can move on to like the main characters or whatever. Well, of course these are all main. Actually, I want to actually talk about the wedding scene a little more, because that was like a human thing. So, but did you think that wedding scene was unnecessary? I've heard a lot of people saying it was sort of unnecessary.
I feel like I think it's fine up until the point where what's his name, Tom?
Yeah, Tom.
I feel like it's fine up until the point where he realizes he has the wrong ring, because he could have so easily just ran up there and said, "That's the wrong ring. This is the real ring," and then just like shown the engraving on the inside instead of having like the tension escalate a bunch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I found that a little weird too.
It's like, why was he like being so secretive about it?
just for him to just throw the ring in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like
After assaulting somebody.
yeah, you'd expect him to go in like the woods or something. You know, throw the ring and then gun finds him or whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so as far as Sonic in this movie, let's start with him. Do you think his character has improved from like the first movie?
I would say so, yeah.
In what way would you say so?
I feel like he has a more tangible character arc, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like Sonic has much of a character arc in the first movie.
I do wish, you know, they sort of developed on that long claw idea more. Even though, like, the long claw versus Echidna tribe thing was touched on, like, you know, it was touched on a good, excuse me, a good amount. A good amount. But, like, as far as, like, Sonic's arc as a whole or whatever, I guess, like, I guess we sort of got, you know, we got like what role he plays now, the importance of the map, which was the map showed in the first movie? I think it was, right? Because you didn't see the Sonic movie until recently. I'm pretty sure it was. But
It probably was, yeah.
so I guess you know, they sort of developed on like his earlier, like his stuff earlier, I guess. But I have a weird like nitpick, I guess. I don't know if it's a nitpick or just a simple mix-up. But why did Long Claw's like hologram thing specifically come up at that moment after Sonic, you know, Sonic touched the like map?
Yeah, that's really convenient timing.
Yeah. I was a little confused about that.
It's like, if he, like, ran his fingers over the emerald, then maybe that could have made more sense, or something along those lines, but he's just, like, holding the map up, and he's like, look, Tails, it's like, there's an emerald on this, and then it just activates.
Yeah. There's just some things in this movie that just don't make sense to me. The movie is like easy to follow and all that stuff, but they're like some eyebrow raising moments, you know. But as far as Sonic, to me, I think the opening scene in Seattle was like I think that did a lot, you know, to show like what Sonic is up to now. He's sort of like, you know, the guy in the city who's helping everybody or whatever. You know, when someone's doing anything wrong or whatever, he's here, you know, Blue Justice or whatever. And actually, if you read like the comic or whatever, the prequel comic, I'm not sure if you've seen it at all, but they sort of, you know, they don't necessarily, like, you don't need to read the book to understand like the movie or whatever a little more. But what's it called? Sonic actually found out what his name should be, you know, after he solved like a crime or whatever, Blue Justice or whatever. So I keep on saying it or whatever, but so I guess the role he plays now is like local hometown hero or whatever. Or maybe, like, I'm not sure if he's not necessarily a hometown hero, because he basically saved the entire planet.
Yeah.
You know, but, so I like the role. I like how he's sort of eased into, like, society, and people aren't, like, there's no crazy Carl, which I was a little bummed out about, because I would have loved to see him. But, I love how he sort of eased into the world, and he's not longer, like, this fish out of water, you know, thing. Yeah. So I guess we can move on to Eggman. I'm gonna let you talk as much as you need to, because I took up a lot of time there.
I mean, it's Jim Carrey. I'm personally a big fan of Jim Carrey. I enjoyed him. I mean, what do you think personally about him kind of, quote unquote, fusing with Master Emerald?
God. I think I've always wanted to see Eggman go super. This is basically him going super, so I think it was cool. You know, it made him seem like even more of a threat than he was already. You know, and I think it genuinely it helped the idea of like having the death thing, the robot there. Like it made it make sense. Initially, I was like, you know, how did he create the Death Egg robot? Then, like, I sort of connected the dots, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit later on. But, you know, I think it's just, like, it makes him seem like more of a threat here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and more equal with Sonic or whatever. You know, and he sort of, like, I think the idea of, I don't know, I guess that leads, like, to more possibilities with like the characters like going like super or whatever you wanna call it, because now like Eggman is like a normal human, you know. In the movie he's treated as that, you know, he's just very smart or whatever, and unless it takes like some sort of mental power to do it, I guess that makes, like, that gives the idea that everyone could sort of get the power with the Master Emerald. So I'm not saying that Tom should grab the Master Emerald and, you know, turn his hair green and then just fight Eggman himself. But, yeah, that could lead to, like, Tails maybe. Like, Tails has gone super before, but that's, like, you know, not a very well-known thing. Same for Knuckles, except that's a little more well-known. So, like, oh, and also Shadow, even though he's, like, ooh, God. Okay, we'll get to that later. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. What did you think about the Master Emerald thing with Eggman?
I thought it was okay. I like that. I mean, okay, I think it may have just. Okay, it could have very well kept on happening and I just got used to it so I didn't notice it much. But I feel like the first scene where it's like him talking to Agent Stone and Wade, like his voice is really weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they like play into it in the scene, but then I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure after that scene his voice just goes back to being normal.
I don't think his voice. I guess the way he was talking changed, but I don't remember his actual voice changing.
Yeah, then I probably just got used to it so I didn't notice it as much.
Probably.
But it just it was weird. It was weird. But I'm personally fine with it.
Yeah, it's not anything to.
I feel like it's kind of strange that they introduced that he could teleport in like the opening scene, but then he doesn't really use that much
Yeah,
after
that could.
that scene.
I guess. Well, what role would that really play? I mean, because he was controlling the Death Egg robot, but he can't teleport with the Death Egg robot. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm
Fair.
mistaken. Yeah, so I guess that's really the only time he could have used it in battle. I guess I don't know. Besides
Yeah.
Knuckles punching him, of course, and Tails being in there, but still had control over the Death Egg robots. Um, so I guess now we can move on to like the plot itself. I guess it probably would have been best to like make notes for this. But where do you think we should go next with this?
um, I mean, we could just talk about miscellaneous stuff. So, like anything you want to talk about.
Okay, I guess we could get into like the meat and potatoes of the movie, the plot itself, you know. Um, so Sonic, you know, he's Sonic stops an armed robbery, I think it was. Bombs
Yeah, it
go
was.
off, you know. Then there's like this kid with the ice cream. But
Oh yeah, what's it called? During that scene, his ice cream just like flips onto the ground with like no prompting.
yeah, that was.
That was
I
weird.
guess we don't know the weather that day, so yeah. I mean, that could have influenced it, a little bit. Like the
Yeah, I
weather.
get that.
Anyways. Um. Oh. So. I don't know. What happens after that? Oh, I forgot about the Eggman in the Mushroom Planet thing. So Eggman's sort of in the Mushroom Planet. Then like these guys come for him.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I did not like. Hopefully, you know how they were with Longclaw, and the
Yeah.
kid in the tribe. So maybe, just maybe, they can explain that in like the third movie.
I mean, they kind of explained it in this movie, but they didn't. Like, they show up in the first scene, right?
Yeah.
But all their purpose really is to just show off that Eggman is still sharp, right? He's still dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's meant to give him a way to get off the Mushroom Planet and meet Knuckles.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it does.
Like, I feel like later on, like, we could definitely get like a better explanation for this. Like, they wouldn't just put that in there for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, there are a couple like unexplained things, but like they're more of like things with like suspension of disbelief or whatever. Like, they're like minor details that you can sort of brush over. But that's like something like that's how Eggman basically gets back and like the whole like story rolls out.
Yeah, so it feels weird for it to be jump started by just like a couple of weird warrior people.
Yeah. And they didn't even like. They were people, and I don't understand their relation to Knuckles yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Like they were humanoid.
yeah, it was. I couldn't get over that for like the first scene. I was like, who are these fellas, But then eventually, I just now remembered it,
Yeah.
So then Sonic goes home and does his normal stuff. Then they go on a fishing trip, which to me is sort of, it's nice, I guess. So, do you feel like the Sonic can't swim thing was sort of crammed in? Like, I don't know how else they could have built it, but to me it felt a little off.
I agree. It did feel just a little unnatural.
Yeah, a little too convenient, yeah. So, he falls asleep, falls over while Tom is telling him something very important. And it's so abrupt, like the falling out of the water thing. And he said, I can't swim, I can't swim. Was there a moment in the first movie where he swam?
He runs to the Atlantic Ocean, and then he gets a fish on his head.
Oh, yeah, okay. My bad.
Doesn't that imply that he went in the water, though?
Yeah, but he had to sink to get a fish on his head at least.
Yeah, so how did he get out?
By running.
But why couldn't he
That's actually, yeah, I understand that. I understand.
We found the biggest plot hole in all of Sonic 2.
This, Sonic could have done this. Idea is like one of my main flaws about that movie, but we'll get to that once we reach like the bar scene or whatever. I think you know where I'm going here, but anyways, so then Maddie and Tom have to go to Hawaii or whatever. I find okay, first of all, why would they trust Sonic? First of all, to just
Yeah, I don't know why they would just trust him.
yeah, but it's not that serious, I guess. It's cutesy. But what else is there? So Sonic does like I like the little like airport thing he was doing. I think it was nice. It made Sonic seem it made me like his character a little more. And I like the kid idea or whatever, but he's not like a normal kid, of course. You know, so I find it really cool. You know, personally, you know, I think it shows their relationship. You know, sort of being. You know, I think it understands. Like, it shows their positive relationship, like the hedgehogs and the, you know, and Tom and Maddie and all them, and the dog, which isn't touched on as much as it was in the first movie. The Ollie, which is I don't have that's not.
Also, like after Eggman and Knuckles break into the house and like destroy it, that just doesn't get brought up.
Oh yeah, what? Yeah.
Like, not even like during like the baseball scene at the end. Like they don't even bring it up. And what happened to the dog?
Yeah, yeah, what did happen to the dog? God, there's
It,
all these things
uh-oh.
that need to be explained in like the next movie.
Mm.
Ooh, I actually okay. I'm gonna say this now before I get back to the actual plot. I think Tails will be like the one rebuilding the house.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, to like they finally arrive home. I think after a while. And then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, what is this mess? And then Knuckles and Sonic look at each other with that weird teeth look, where their teeth are showing, and they're like, you know, like that look. Yeah, that's.
You wanna know one missed opportunity I kind of have with the movie?
Yeah, sure.
Towards like the very end, during like the battle sequence, where it's like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all working together, they should have done like the Sonic Heroes, like where it's like the 3-stack, you know?
We'll get to
You know,
that
like
later.
the 3-stack?
I
The
don't know
3-stack.
what you mean.
Wait, I'm looking it up.
We'll get to that later. What do you mean by the 3-stack?
You know where it's like,
The logo?
no, not the
The
logo.
move?
You,
Like
you
the
keep
move?
on talking while I find the
Are you
image.
talking about the fly thing when you go to like the flight character where Sonic and I think it goes Knuckles at the bottom, Sonic in the middle, and Tails at the top?
Yeah, and they're like flying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't
Yeah.
think Sonic and Tails in this movie could barely carry Knuckles on his own, so I guess that would be like
They could have just like had that be like them coming in, right? So, like coming down, because logically Tails couldn't hold it up, but Tails could like slow it down so they could still hit the ground. Yeah, it's just a nitpick though. Yeah.
Anyways, where were we with the actual plot? We were Hawaii. Okay, so then Sonic and the dog are all home alone. Well, they're both home alone, I guess. But and
Yeah.
then Sonic trashes the place. There's one tiny it's literally like the tiniest nitpick, like tinier than any of your nitpicks, which is saying a lot. Ha ha ha.
Dare you.
But Sonic's phone for some reason was still working. Now that all those bubbles or whatever, I don't know if there was like very much water, so that could have had a huge influence on it. But
Then bubbles like aren't gonna be good for a phone.
yeah, true.
That's
I
wow.
don't think they were. They were just bubbles and without water. I can't believe we're having a discussion about water and okay, never mind. So how did his phone survive that? Like, if it was just bubbles, then maybe like I can understand that a little. But who just has like soap and bubbles without like, you know, water?
Yeah.
Oh, but anyways,
You're rambling so much at this point.
the Sonic the scene where the Home Alone scene. I told you about another nitpick I had with the dancing part. They zoomed in for some reason, which I
Yeah.
didn't like. It's such a small detail that shouldn't even be like touched on really. But so I mean this scene pretty cool. nothing too crazy about it. I like the music choice. I like everything about that. But then they zoom out and show Tails, coming in the movie, which was really cool to me. But do you remember why he came there?
Wait, is this like trivia, or are you genuinely
I'm
asking?
genuinely asking.
It was like, what's it called? During the first movie, during the weird baseball sequence where Sonic goes fast for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Okay, I
the
remember.
energy thing
Yeah.
reached Tails' home planet.
Oh, I'm surprised they weren't on the same planet.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah, like I understand. I think I understand Sonic understanding, well, speaking, human language. I guess this really depends on which region you're in, so I can't say the English language or whatever, but the human, but
But the
but the language that we understand, like I kind of understand it with Sonic, but like, was Tails taught? Was Knuckles taught? Yeah, or is it just, or are we just supposed to just,
yeah.
I guess we're supposed to just go with it, which I'm fine with. And I was just wondering. So Tails gets like the signal or whatever, and he's like a Sonic fanboy or whatever. Which
That's a really weird aspect of the movie.
I kinda like it though. We've heard,
Yeah,
we've
I
heard.
mean, I don't necessarily dislike it. It's just kind of a strange choice. Like in the movie, Tails has never actually met Sonic before, and the same goes for Sonic, right? And Tails has just been watching him.
Yeah, I guess Sonic doesn't find that very weird. But
Yeah, and then that one scene where Tails is like, trick question, you prefer bubble baths. And then Sonic's just like, you are good. Like, you're not weirded out by that?
we're nitpicking the
Yeah,
average.
we're doing the dumbest nitpicks right now.
But yeah, I understand that. Yeah, he's like, you prefer, but like, that's interesting, I guess. Oh, but we didn't even touch on how like Tails and Sonic actually managed to interact. Well, actually, that's right after this. Right after the thing we just mentioned, Tails coming to his planet or whatever. So,
Yeah.
Eggman comes back, which I wish Knuckles and Eggman's journey to the home was shown a little more. Like, I know, like, it's a simple journey. Think of the area, throw the ring, and then you enter. But like, I wish they were like, we could have at least heard like another conversation from them, like about like, oh man, so this Sonic guy is like, I mean, I'm sure Knuckles already knew, but he already knew his problem with Sonic or whatever. But then we get to the first fight scene, which happened pretty fast. I like to mention. I'm fine with that though. I'm glad they had because the first movie actually, the fight scenes weren't like very good. It was more like a chase sequence,
Yeah.
And like when they actually got to the fight, Sonic just dogged on it.
Yeah. It wasn't a very good fight.
Yeah. They improved on already from the first battle. They improved on the combat so much.
I'll say this about the second movie, they do a good job of raising the stakes believably.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It does actually feel like there's more to be lost in this movie compared to the first one.
Yeah. I feel like like everybody says, the first movie was the benchmark,
Yeah.
Or the blueprint. I don't.
The foundation.
Yeah. So, the fight scene really good. You know, I found Knuckles going through the TV to be, you know, a highlight.
This is a really weird thing to say, but like that one part when like the trailer scene where it's like, Knuckles catches Sonic in the ball, right?
Yeah.
Like that's cool or whatever. But then like he slams him down on the ground, right?
Yeah.
He bounces up and then he like pins him against the tree.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that was really cool to me. Like,
I'll say they did a good job of having every Knuckles punch feel really powerful.
yeah, like the shockwaves, they really put him over, you know?
Yeah, like even the scene where he punches the Death Egg and Robotnik's like, "Ooh, that I felt that one."
Yeah.
It still felt powerful, even though he's making fun of it.
Yeah, like it's crazy, like how cool Knuckles is in this movie.
Like, wow.
While still
man.
being a dumb character, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I like his development and all that stuff, but like when he first comes in, like he's just a ball of energy, you know? I feel like, and I really like this is sort of going like about an hour later, but I really like him punching Eggman and knocking the emerald out of him. Not only was that a good callback to like Sonic 3, but it was also like it made it feel like Knuckles, like it showed his impact, you know.
Yeah.
Like the punches or whatever. Yeah, so anyways, continuing with the fight scene. Dude, so I guess you can say Sonic and Tails quote unquote win, because Tails comes in with like a police car, and I'm not sure how he got that police car. Was that ever touched on?
I mean, it's like the moment he touches down on the planet, right? He's like, "Oh, I know, human transportation,"
Yeah.
and that kind of just like cuts away, and it just cuts back to him with the police car.
Yeah, there are a lot of pacing issues in this movie.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, but I'm not like too crazy. Like I'm not like they're like really small things for the most part. You know.
Yeah.
But let's see. So Tails hits Knuckles, which I really liked him hitting Knuckles because that was like the first big hit that Knuckles took.
Yeah.
And
it immediately sets up that he's not just like some boogeyman character that's like an unstoppable force that you just can't mess with. Like it sets up that he is vulnerable.
Yeah. He's no immortal god or whatever. He's doing his thing, you know, but he gets hurt, you know. So Tails and Sonic drive off, and I really like the fact that they gave Knuckles speed in this movie.
Yeah.
Because I think that adds, like, he's not as fast as Sonic, obviously, but that adds to like the potential of what he could do. You know, and like these cool fight scenes in like the third movie. I cannot wait to get to what we want to see in the third movie, which we will get to eventually. There's so much I have to say about that, like, and just Knuckles developing as a character. But anyways, so Knuckles drives off, and Sonic and Tails drive off, and then how did they escape Knuckles?
What's it called? They drive the car off the cliff and then they fly away.
Yeah. I think that's a really nice way to show off Tails' abilities or whatever.
Yeah.
Cause it was perfect. It didn't feel too convenient or whatever. But it was like perfect time, perfect execution. I don't have really any complaints about that moment specifically. Then Eggman came back around. And how did he get there so fast? The Eggmobile probably?
What's it called? He was on the little like tractor thing, and then he called Agent Stone, and it was like do that, get me my lock, okay? and then that sent in all the stuff. Speaking of Agent Stone, I like that he gets more screen time while still not feeling too dominant, I guess.
Yeah. So we. Oh, also, I'd like to mention a couple things about the Tails stuff. Not necessarily him getting in the police car, but I just want to say a lot of the holes. Well, I guess some of the holes of the movie are filled in that comic. For like Knuckles too, I don't exactly remember the details, but like I guess that sort of fills in the holes. But you know, not everybody will see that, so it doesn't really do a great job. Yeah, you know, it probably needed like better promotion. I mean, I guess I can't really complain because like the people who wanted to, you know, hear about all that, you know, they could have checked out the comic. So you know, I guess. But anyways, we get to Agent Stone's mean bean coffee thing, which was actually explained in the comic how he got it. He was like, I think he like hacked into people's things and called out for work or whatever. You know, or maybe like threatened them to get them fired. I don't remember the details exactly. But anyway, so Eggman arrives and then he says, he's back. I really like that. Then he accesses the thing with the password, which is, yeah, it was cute or whatever. Yeah, I really like Agent Stone's and Eggman sort of relationship there, because you know it gives me more of a reason to, you know, care for Agent Stone, you know.
Yeah. And something I like about it is that, what's it called? Eggman isn't like dismissive of him. Like he does actually appreciate like the things Agent Stone does for him. Like he loves his lattes.
He's not completely heartless, you know.
Oh.
Like they could have made him like stone cold, like, oh man.
Yeah, like Agent Stone tries doing like a genuine gesture, and he's just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, "Rapido, rapido."
Yeah. With I feel like it's accurate to like how Eggman acts in like the games, cause he actually has like personality. He's not like, you know, completely dark in the soul. You know, he can still, you know, he cracks his jokes. He has his passions. You know, he loves being creative with his machinery or whatever. Which I'd like to say, I think they definitely stepped it up with like how the designs of like the badniks in this, and just everything in general, I guess. Like I don't like the red and white thing they have going on, but I can't really complain about that entirely. But you know, it's a step up at least. But so Eggman sort of, you know, in this movie, good relationship with Stone. That's nice. Knuckles enters, and he welcomes Stone or whatever. I guess. I mean, I don't really have much to say about that part specifically. I don't want to nitpick anymore. But anyways, what happens after that?
I think it cuts to them like in the garage.
Them in the garage. Okay. So with like the thing changing, and like, okay. Oh yeah, and like them showing the text messages, right? Oh no, it actually cuts to like the FaceTime call. I think. Am I right? So it cuts to, I think it cuts to the FaceTime call, right? Between Tom and Sone.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that.
So they talk a little. You know, I was going to say something about. Oh, I actually talked about this earlier, and I got like the scenes mixed up. a little bit about like the bubbles in the phone or whatever. But I thought the phones looked a little weird until I realized like the background was blurred out. You know. So it didn't look that weird, I guess, once I understood that. But I'm done with the nitpicking. But they have a normal conversation. And then I'm pretty sure that's when they cut to the text messages, I guess.
Yeah.
Then,
And it's like the dot, dot, dot.
yeah, the people in the theater loved that. They loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was an okay joke. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
It wasn't bad by any means, but it was just like, it was an okay joke.
I don't want to nitpick like any joke on here. Like just being like, oh man, it was drawn out. It you said it too many times. Yeah, I've heard the people. God, there's a little bit of stuff we're missing out on, like the movie thing, but there are people flat out saying the comedy in this movie sucked, which I don't entirely agree with. I laughed in this movie more than I laughed in the first one, honestly. That could be a testament to like, you know, that could just, you know, be my bad sense of humor or whatever, blah blah blah. But like, it was, I found the stuff funny, you know, and it's one of the most like, I guess, immature jokes in the movie. But I really like the Sonic like making like his own like robot thing, you know, like his little puppet thing, you know, to trick Tom or whatever, or you know, I think that was like a flashback or something during the boat scene.
Yeah,
and I found that pretty funny. I think that was that probably got one of the best laughs out of me personally.
Yeah, my favorite part about that joke is the fact that it's not like Tom walks in and it's like, hey Sonic, and it's like getting weirded out, he's like, Sonic? Like, he immediately recognizes that Sonic's made like some weird contraption.
Yeah. Anyways, where are we in the story? So, Agent Stone. So what happens after, like they read the text messages and stuff?
I think they go to Siberia after like the whole map thing.
I think that's a huge jump.
I don't think it is.
Oh, I think we go to like the wedding, like not the actual wedding, but like.
It's a scene before the wedding, but it's like around the wedding.
Tom is messing up.
Yeah, I think it's the volleyball scene.
Yeah. Tom is getting dogged in volleyball or whatever. I don't have much to say about the scene. Like, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, it was pretty funny for what it was, I guess. Not like the actual, like, him getting hit by it, but like, I don't know, it served its purpose. Even though I enjoyed, like, the wedding subplot, is probably, like, the weakest part of the movie. Like, not the actual subplot, but, like, this scene. It's like, it feels like, I don't know, like a
quote-unquote filler.
Yeah. I think that's a fair thing to call it, but after that, I guess we can jump to the, how do they enter this? Oh, do they go to the, no, never mind, I'm just, it's stuttering a lot here. Anyways, so, when do they eventually go to, like, the snowy place?
Siberia?
Yeah, sure.
It's after the map scene, so like they're in the garage for some reason.
Okay, yeah. By the way, the garage thing, I just want to mention again, like the weird like timing for like the map thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was odd, for it to specifically, work there, it was like, oh man, Long Claw has a message, even though for like the past, I don't know how long it's been since like the events in the last movie and this movie, but
This has been a lengthy review.
yeah, 52 minutes.
Oh my god.
But anyways, they enter the thing. And then go inside like the what's the bar or whatever.
Yeah, the tap.
I like the quick part where like they're like gasping and then Tails passes out or whatever. And then they eventually I want to talk about like the translator thing messing up. I don't know how that happened. And I don't really
It's just like a kind of contrivance to lead to conflict.
Yeah, I guess, but unless I wouldn't put it past them. If it was like those words sounded similar or something like in in Siberian language or whatever.
Yeah, but even then that would feel like really convenient.
Yeah, I agree. It was sort of happened. But then Tails, I don't really. Okay, I just want to say, of course, Sonic could have used like his thing here, like the slow down time thing, to like get Tails and him out. But I guess the scene where they do that. Okay, I guess we'll get to it naturally. So Tails and Sonic are about to be thrown into the thing. And I wouldn't put it past Tails to know what is it called?
The translate.
No, like the celebration they were doing. Like you know.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, so I wouldn't put it past them to know what that is. So that's not too crazy, but. Then they do like the celebration or whatever, and it breaks into like a dance break or whatever. What do you think about that? The dance break?
I think it's okay. I mean, there's weirdly both movies have a bar scene, and I
Yeah.
prefer the idea of them getting into bizarre hijinks over them just getting into a bar fight. Personally.
Yeah, I agree.
So I prefer it over the original bar scene.
To me, also the bars look really similar. I've never been to a bar though, so maybe that's a standard custom. But anyways, I think, okay, I don't want to. At this point, it seems like I'm nitpicking just to nitpick. Like, this is literally, like, the smallest nitpick thus far. But they sort of just ran with the idea of Sonic just changing the music. The music stopped or whatever that they were playing. And, like, they changed the lights for it or whatever.
That was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird, but I'm not gonna go too crazy about it. But, I liked... I guess the dance scene was okay. Like, I didn't really care for it that much. Personally, it was just them dancing, I guess. Even though Sonic could have easily grabbed the thing with his slow down thing or whatever. But, anyways. So they do all that stuff, Then, what happens? Does anything else happen in that scene?
They do like a bit of bonding when Tails sleeps next to Sonic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wasn't specifically talking about that. I was talking about the bar scene, but... Oh well, I guess we'll move to that. So, hold on, so they do, like, the bonding or whatever. I think that was a nice scene. People in the theater were all like, oh... I wasn't too crazy hard.
Yeah.
I hate hating, but like I just wasn't that crazy over it, you know. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Just like whatever.
it's just CGI. But anyways, Sonic grabs the blanket, puts it over there. So, wait, but where did they actually sleep in the bar?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot. Tom and Maddie are home, so I guess that makes sense. I guess. I don't know, it's kind of abrupt. But, so eventually they get to, eventually they wake up and they have to get the woman off of them or whatever. So what comes next? What's after that?
They find the ice cave.
The ice cave. Oh, nah, that's, what's the ice cave again? Refresh my memory a little.
The scene where they like go in. Yeah, it's that scene.
You didn't even have to say anything, but yeah, I had that up.
Yeah.
So they eventually have the map, and then, God, here I am with the nitpicking again. This isn't going to affect like my score or anything. By the way, we're having scores. We're doing scores. I don't know if you were prepared for that. Yeah, because I don't know. But this isn't going to affect my score. Most of my nitpicks aren't. But like nobody cares. But and where Sonic like sort of spins the stuff. You know, it's specifically landed on like on like the specific inputs. You know.
Mhm.
And then they got the compass, which has a really nice design. And then, what's it called? Eggman finds where they are, gets the target on Tails, and then the snowboarding scene happens. Pretty good scene, I'd say. As far as complaints I have with it, there aren't any. I'm glad they didn't overuse the idea of having like the slow-mo scenes to make everything sort of, you know, even though I somewhat complained about him like not using it at certain times. Now that I think about it, I sort of, for the purpose of the movie, I understand it, you know. I understand him not using it all the time, so I get that. But as far as the snowboarding scene itself, what did you think?
I mean, thought it was okay.
I thought it was going to be much more, you know, crazy or whatever. But I mean, it was just a normal scene. They didn't like do anything crazy with the fighting on there, but
Yeah.
so then eventually Sonic calls Tom during the wedding, which officially starts the wedding scene. So Tom, he forgot to put a silencer on, then forgets to do it again, and another nitpick. I think you can guess what it is, but like the photo he used for Sonic is a photo from the movie.
Yep.
Instead of like a new render or something, which would have been nice. I was hoping they would change that in like the movie, because they, excuse me, they had it in the trailer, and I was like, maybe it'll change in the official movie, but no, they didn't. But that's like one of the smallest nitpicks yet, and that says a lot. But let's see what else. They get arrested. I think that's how it goes. They get arrested. Well, everybody, you know what happens. They take Tails' bag, I think. Yeah. Maddie and Rachel. Sonic and Tails are knocked out. Tails is actually already knocked out from, what was he knocked out by?
Remember specifically. I think it was something to do with Robotnik.
Yeah, probably. Oh, But oh yeah, he shot him with something, I think. What's it called? Sonic threw the thing to Tails, and then Eggman caught it. And actually, there is a moment of vulnerability from Knuckles towards Sonic and all that stuff. He talks about like why, like he explains his actions or whatever, Sonic, and then they relate, and then Knuckles thinks it's a trap or whatever, because Tails attacks him, and then Knuckles breaks out, then Sonic throws the thing at Tails, and Tails gets knocked out. Anyways, so they do the FaceTime call, and, they're arrested, blah blah blah. I don't think they're arrested, actually. So, and then we enter, that wedding scene or whatever. Have we touched on the ring thing yet, right? Have we touched on that? Oh yeah, the rings. So the guy he punched, like he could have. You just say your thoughts on this because you have quite a bit to say. Man.
I think it's really it's one of those contrived moments where they just have to create extra conflict, right?
Yeah.
When like where Tom could have just walked up and been like, you guys, I'm so sorry, that's the wrong ring, and could have held up the ring and just showed the engraving on the inside. He's like, give me the ring, just trust me, give me the ring. And he punches what's his name, Randall?
Yeah, Randall.
And then he immediately throws the ring right in front of where everybody is sitting.
Yeah, so there was no point there. I could have excused it a little bit if he just walked up there, punched them, everybody gassed. That would have been funny. If he just walked up there, punched them, grabbed it, threw the ring, and then everything sort of happened there. But anyways, once again, everybody gets okay. So we arrive at the scene with Rachel and Maddie, where they're sort of doing their sort of Kill Bill thing. I don't know. I've never watched Kill Bill. I'm not sure if that's a movie or anything, but yeah, they go crazy or whatever. People have been saying this is their least favorite part of it. It's stupid, unnecessary. But honestly, this is one of my favorites. To me, it may have not been the most necessary, depending on how you want to, look at things. But to me, it was entertaining. It was flashy. It had its cool moments. Like that shot of her doing the cutthroat thing. With the explosion in the back. It was cool. Cool. It was action movie level cool. Something. It was cool. It was cool. But then we have a little thing between Rachel and Randall, which I don't remember much from. I didn't really care for much. Because I do not care about Randall that much. I think Rachel is really cool, but I don't care about the relationship between Rachel and Randall. And I would have only cared if there was a satisfying ending with Randall, getting what he deserved or whatever. So Maddie, I didn't touch on Maddie's sort of ability or whatever, and also what's it called? The old Olive Garden guy, joining. I think she joined. I think he joined everybody else's side.
Yeah, that's one nitpick I have, is I feel like the military people from the last movie showing up out of nowhere halfway through the movie just to add a bit of random conflict and making the runtime longer is out of place.
Yeah, a little bit. But,
it's logically it makes sense, but the way they did it is just why?
Yeah.
The military still wanting to, capture Sonic makes sense, but it's what? Why would... What?
Well, yeah, at this point, why, But,
yeah.
Anyways, let's see. So, eventually Sonic has, Sonic gets woken up. Sonic is saved. Oh man, the day is saved. Everybody's sort of out, and then Sonic's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I see the light in the sky." And by the way, I forgot to mention, Knuckles and Eggman eventually find the way to the also the okay, so they eventually find the way to like the Master Emerald's location, and I guess we didn't mention. Never mind. I'm not going to bother. So they go to the cave or whatever, and Sonic's here talking to like Tom or whatever. I have to go there. I have to go there. Or, you know, he's like blue justice, blue justice. So he runs across the thing, and I think that it's not a long scene, but I like him running across the water, and it looks like really cool.
I like that he kind of stumbles halfway through.
Yeah. It gives him it gives the idea that Sonic has stamina. You know, like he can lose his energy at any point too. Like with running, he's just not like like a guy who runs all the time without getting tired or whatever. And it shows his nervousness for the water also. But But anyways, oh, we didn't mention. I don't think we got to this part yet in the movie. I think we have actually, but that animation they had for like the chaos for like showcasing what the emeralds do. You know, you know what I mean.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it was one of the best animated moments in the movie. Well, everything like pretty much everything is animated, but I mean like animation wise, it was one of the best looking moments. Just as a whole, best looking moment in the movie. I'm gonna just say that to make it simpler. But I brought that up because the water scene to me is like an easy second. It was visually appealing and everything, you know. Then Sonic wakes up on shore on a pretty small island, which is interesting. I don't know. I'm surprised. Wait, actually, never mind. But he ends up on shore. I'm surprised he ended up on shore. I thought there was going to be a scene with him underwater. It was like an orchestral version of like the even though that's like probably already never mind. But at this point, what happens next? Oh, Tails.
He washes up on shore of the island.
Yeah, Tails has to eventually go there too. Has trouble flying, but then he eventually goes there, flies the whole way, right? I think. When does the plane get introduced?
I don't remember.
Okay, so then we eventually get to the temple. Sonic arrives and it's like a race to the finish. We know what happens. Traps go off and all that stuff. And then we eventually get to the fight scene, which we can both agree is the best fight scene in cinematic history.
I can agree with that to an extent.
It was a really good fight scene there. I think the cinematography, where they decided to put Sonic and Knuckles for like the frames and all that stuff. They had like their screenshotable moments,
Yeah.
And eventually they reach like the point, like the slow-mo part where Knuckles is getting pounded through the ground, which to me was like jaw-dropping moment, It was an insane moment, I thought it was really entertaining, like that fight scene, very quality, not a wasted moment. And then Knuckles realize there's no real loser or winner for that matter. And then Knuckles turns around, realizes that, oh, he tricked me. So, of course, they have to, they have their conflict. Then Eggman gets his thing. I think he teleports to the area or whatever, where like the coffee shop. He goes there. He finds, one of the weakest jokes in the movie is done with like the bagel.
Yeah.
He says like the bagel, like he said, do you want, butter on your bagel or whatever. I didn't think that was very like.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a little, but then he comes there and then eats the display bagel, which to me was at least a little funny. I don't know, but then he comes out there and everybody thinks he just looks standard. I guess they didn't see like the glowing. Yeah, like the electricity or whatever. The movie has this, like, the movies have this weird obsession with electricity too. It's
Weird
like,
obsession with like electricity.
yeah, with Sonic's little thing being like, but eventually he builds the Death Egg robot. Like I like that scene. It like,
Bless you.
thank you. It shows like the power of the Master Emerald, and like you could say, oh man, like how did he think of that design, and how did he make it all perfect or whatever. But I guess it's the Master Emerald. I mean, and and like they said, it creates like any wish or whatever they said. Yeah, about that. So then eventually he takes control of it somehow. I'm not sure. Like, does he like? I'm not sure how he built it before. Oh, he went inside the tornado. I forgot.
Yeah.
So then, Tails hijacks the. Well, this isn't shown, I think, but he hijacks the plane for the Rachel blah blah blah, Rachel and Randall for everything. He takes it, flies over there. Sonic and Knuckles. I'm not sure. I don't remember what happens with them, but then they eventually unite. Yeah, the Sonic Heroes. Oh man! And then they have like each of them did their own thing for the most part. I'm not sure. Actually, are we skipping over that Supersonic part? Cause like,
No.
oh, we are.
That happens way later.
Okay, so then they eventually do all their stuff. Knuckles cuts the thing open, I think. Well, Tails, I don't remember who cuts it open, but Tails shows that that ability he used later for the dance battle. He used earlier for the dance battle, which to me is a little cool callback. You know.
Felt natural.
Yeah, and then Knuckles flats out knocks the Emerald out of him, which is once again a callback, but to the games, Sonic 3 knocks out, whatever. And then Sonic sees the opportunity to take the Emeralds, showing, how vulnerable he is here. Then Sonic grabs it, gets picked up by the car, and then, in a weird way, I don't think they accept death or whatever. Is my memory sort of messed up there?
Don't know.
Like, they sort of said something like, we're not gonna leave your side. Oh man, this is it. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe my memory is a little messed up. But, But then, the emerald sort of cracks. Then, the emeralds fall out. By the way, the emeralds look really small in this movie.
They are really
You know,
small.
like they can fit in like Sonic's hand or whatever. But
Yeah.
then he goes super, which is cool. You know, it shows, I guess there's no backstory really needed for like Supersonic, because like Eggman could, you know, use the Emerald's power too. So, so we get this cool moment. I think Supersonic looks a little weird, not because of the design itself, but it just feels weird seeing it like on the big screen. But I'll get used to it eventually, probably. So then they have this moment, and then I think Eggman dies, maybe not, depending on the trajectory.
His fate is ambiguous.
Yeah, which I really like. I don't think he died though. That's my guess. So then I think this is where, I think this is the final scene before the baseball scene, right? I think so. I could. But
Yeah, because then they eat chili dogs and then it
oh
cuts to
yeah,
the baseball game.
yeah, the chili dog thing, and then eventually they go on the baseball field. I really like this. I really like the development of Knuckles' character here. Of course, it's very obvious because of that little memoir Sonic gave on the island, which we didn't talk about much. But he gave his little memoir and that changed Knuckles' life or whatever. And by the way, Knuckles saved him from drowning. Sonic saved Knuckles from drowning. We're missing out on a little bit of stuff, but we won't go back to that. We don't have time. But then they do their little baseball thing. You know, I think it was a cool moment, but what's the fate of the baseball field? You know, they cracked open the scoreboard or whatever. Like, did they just trash this like baseball field for no reason?
Yeah.
I hope it's vacant or something. But then they eventually go home. Credits roll. So, do you want to talk about the credits song before we get to the post-credit scene?
Sure.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was okay.
Of course, you always have the neutral answers, but I pretty much have the same opinion, honestly.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the theme for the first one for the second one?
Remember the first one?
You don't remember the first one. It was such a good day when that dropped.
Oh.
Cause it was like, oh man, everybody's just excited for like the movie or whatever. Anyways, I guess we can move on to the. Oh wait. The credits, they looked really good, by the way. So then we enter the post-credit scene with the GUN, all that stuff, and with Shadow. I mean, they talk about Shadow 50 years ago. I don't know how they just magically located Shadow, but yeah, it's a little odd. But then eventually then we see Shadow, who looks a little too Sonic-y for my taste. But yeah, his eyes light up, and that's the movie. What do you think Shadow could do in the next movie?
It wants to kill Sonic.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know where he'd go from there. Like, what would be his purpose? You know, would he?
Yeah.
Oh, they're probably going to do the framing thing. Like, everybody thinks Shadow is Sonic, or his name, Shadow. You know, I think personally he's not going to have like the craziest role, and like I think they're going to play into that just Adventure 2 storyline. Do you know what the storyline of that game is?
Roughly, yeah.
So I feel like they're just going to do that. Gerald Robotnik, like we might actually get like a deeper like video, like his final video or whatever, like a deeper version of it.
Yeah.
Or actually, a good idea would be like focusing on Gerald Robotnik a little, like in sort of like you know how he sort of drove himself into insanity, sort of.
Yeah.
What if they sort of go like in detail about how he did that, you know?
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Also, I guess they can do the obligatory like Sonic Heroes thing in like the third movie. Um,
Yeah.
um, I guess that's it. Is there like anything else you'd like to see in like the third movie? I'd personally,
I don't really know.
I'd personally like to see a lot of the like the holes field. You know, I feel like they're getting better. They're getting better every time, but
This is only the second time.
they,
It's getting better
shut
every time.
up. Yeah, but yeah, they're improving. Progress was made. So I guess the final thing we can ask is, what's your score for it?
My score is 7.4 out of 10.
My rating is around the same point, except that I'd give it like a 7.5. I was bordering between the 7 and 8, like when I started, thinking about this, but yeah, it's around that range.
I would personally say 7.4 instead of 0.5 because to me, any movie that's like 8 to 10 is a movie that's like solid that I can't easily nitpick, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a very easy movie to nitpick.
Yeah, there's. I think the flaws to me are now more apparent. Now that I'm thinking about the movie more. I hope they sort of do like a thing they did with this movie and introduce two characters from like the Sonic world or whatever.
And I guarantee you the other one will be Silver. Watch that. Watch it.
That would no. How does that make sense?
Oh, it will.
Yeah, God, it's going to be like Rouge or Omega maybe. Introducing Jim Carrey will say that or something. And also Gerald will count too if they do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do the outro.
Oh, hi, how are you? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the end of the video. I've rewatched the movie since the first time you saw in the video. The audience was crazy. They were applauding and clapping and crying for everything, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it.